when I receive them, oftentimes my name is spelled wrong, which is a problem within itself. Or we get that highlight reel video where it showcases the ping pong table and the snack wall and everything in between. But is that really working? When we spoke to our experts, it wasn't. It's not what candidates are looking for. And as I was prepping this and I was going through all of these less than ideal, let's call it, recruitment marketing strategies, I broke out into hives. This is a true story. Had to go to the urgent care. The doctor that was there was helping me, said, Devin, has anything been different that you've done today that would have caused you to break out into hives? And I said, well, honestly, I've been seeing a lot of bad recruitment marketing. I think that's it. So she said, okay, that's probably not it. Pumped me full of Benadryl and steroids and said, you can be on your way. You can do the show tomorrow. You won't have any hives, but you should probably stay away from the tuna that you had yesterday. So I'll take that with a grain of salt. Instead, I'm just going to power through this episode of recruitment marketing. I could see the comments pouring in, and it looks like Jen says she's going to her cousin's wedding. Maggie is headed to Bethany Beach this weekend. Shout out Delaware and Joe Flacco. Andrea is saying self-care day. I love that. Everyone needs a self-care day. Treat yourself. Self-care day. And Destiny says, hopefully relaxing. Destiny, I hope you get the chance to relax. But I have a feeling that after today's episode, you are going to be so amped up about what you can do for recruitment marketing that you may get to relax a little bit the coming weeks when you have candidates just pouring in for you. So without any further hesitation, let's dive into the topic today of recruitment marketing, recapping what we've covered the past few weeks. Today, I have a very special guest. It is Carrie Monaco, who is not the owner of the city of Monaco, but I'm sure would love to vacation there. She is a product marketing manager here at Phenom who covers everything recruitment marketing wise from the product marketing perspective. So without any further hesitation, let's bring on Carrie to talk a little bit about the strategies. Carrie, how are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm good.
Welcome to the show. You excited?
I am.
You are? How are you doing
excited.
today?
It's actually finally dry in New York. I'm from New York. If anyone's out there, say hello.
Yeah, I'll be there.
But it has been raining. Oh, maybe we can. It's been raining for the past few days. So
yeah. So you're drying out. That is
drying out.
I see a couple more comments have come in. I see Tom says that he is allergic to unintelligent chatbots. He always breaks out into hives around them. Tom, I'm sorry. Luckily, if you visit a Phenom career site, you won't run into one of those unintelligent career site chat bots. But potentially, if you are doing some weekend shopping over the holiday weekend, you may find a couple when your tracking items don't match up or anything like that. So best of luck, and keep that Benadryl on deck. Carrie, it is a pleasure to have you on the program. Do you have any fun plans for the weekend?
Oh, definitely. We're going to go up north, apple picking and pumpkin picking combination. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun, but I'm not too sure because I got 2 little ones. So we'll see how much that fun is going to be.
Well, fun or not, you will have the memories and they will last forever. So that's always, you can always look back on it and laugh, right? That's what happens. But that's awesome. I hope you have a great time. I hope it all goes well. Carrie, obviously we have had a plethora of guests on over the past few weeks. And what we're going to do today is we're going to dive into some of the clips, some of the things that they shared, and we're going to dissect them. We're going to add our expertise to what they may have said, expound on it a little bit more, and hopefully give the good folks watching, some tips and tricks to go home and add to their recruitment strategy as soon as today. So without any further hesitation, we are going to start with our first clip, which is from Jordan Shelton of Cave, who talked a lot about social media and how to be genuine within your social media approach.
Yeah, that's 2012 recruitment marketing tactics. Like, we have nap rooms, so you never have to leave. You can work here for 17 hours a day and never see your kids. You're going to love it. Like, those days are done. We've gone through the pandemic. People are like, we're valuing different parts of work. That stuff is cool, but I would care more about what's the pay? Is there health care? Who are the people I'm working with? Am I working on meaningful work? Right? I don't know about you, but I've been in a million offices with ping pong tables and there's nobody playing. So I think we care at a deeper level about the work we're doing and the people we're impacting, and ultimately the people we're working with as well.
We do have another clip that we're going to air of Jordan a little bit later in the program. But what he was talking about there was the recruitment market strategy of showcasing your company highlight reel, right? I shared the story on that episode. If you want to catch the full episode, it's on YouTube and on LinkedIn. You can always find it there. Just search Phenom. But I shared the story of working at an organization where I did sales, and they had a pool table. And it was one of their big selling points. It was, as I was a 22-year-old who just graduated college, I was like, this is odd. There's an Xbox, there's a pool table. But I'll tell you what, Carrie, as soon as we didn't meet our goals, the controllers to the Xbox magically disappeared, as did the pool cues and the pool balls. The fun and games were no longer there because we weren't hitting our metrics. Rather than companies sharing those highlight reels of things that may not be true, what do you think companies can do to showcase their employer brand that isn't ping pong tables or pool tables?
What, you don't like ping pong tables and pool
I
tables?
love
No,
ping pong.
I mean,
I love it.
Well, there's so many ways companies can easily do this today. I mean, especially with technology like Phenom, they could update their website with engaging content that educates talent about the company's core values, its culture, the work environment. You can send out targeted recruitment campaigns that are personalized to different pools of candidates. You can create spotlight videos talking about why employees join the company, how it ties to the culture, and really get their personal connection there.
No, I think that makes total sense. We've seen a shift, right, over this past year, where candidates, they're savvy, right? Everyone does their research. That's why organizations like Yelp and Glassdoor exist. I cut you off. What did you want to add?
I was just agreeing with you. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. No, you're fine. You're fine. But we've seen this shift where candidates also care about where a company stands socially, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of chaos going on in the world, and they want to make sure that their overall ideas and ideologies line up with the organization that they're working for. So I think that is another way to showcase that culture that you talked about, right? To bring in that right company fit, because you don't want to have organizations that their employees don't align with the purpose like they do here at Phenom, right? Our purpose is to help 1 billion people find the right job. In our next clip from Jordan, he talks about a must-have that every organization must leverage if you're not keeping up with the Joneses when it comes to recruitment marketing. So let's air that clip.
Video. Showing a potential candidate can learn so much more about a company when you're able to show video of what's the day in the life. Is it testimonials from past people or current staff? When you can lean into that and give more information to potential candidates, you are showing more, you're being more authentic. It's not a overproduced, pre-made graphic that's just the, company highlight reel. You're able to give a little bit more of that behind the scenes. That to me is what's really going to ring through and what's going to differentiate you. Now, I say it's position specific because if I'm recruiting in-house counsel, does that attorney want to hear from the IT team and vice versa, right? So I want to make sure that I'm also showing the right part of the business and showing, the people that you would be working with, and here's the team and here's what they said, or if you're remote, here's how you connect, whatever that may be. So I think really leaning into, position or department specifics and then taking video and running with it.
Carrie, I don't know if you caught that. Jordan might have been a little more subtle than I liked, but he's pretty excited about video, right?
Oh, I think
overall,
it's video. I thought it was something else. No,
but he should have mentioned it one more time. I loved it. I loved that presentation of it because it's important.
But he's so right.
Have it. Exactly. And when we think of recruitment marketing, oftentimes we think of email campaigns, right? Text message campaigns, things like this. But my question for you is, we just mentioned that candidates are savvy, right? They're going to do their research. Do you think that this video content should be housed on other either social media or websites where video is king, like YouTube and TikTok?
Oh,
Should companies begin to add them there?
absolutely. I think that's a great point. They should be added everywhere. People watch more videos than they do listen or read any other type of material. Videos are a great way to show off your brand, especially if the candidates want to be talked to that through that channel. Um, they may start their journey off at YouTube. They may not start their journey off on your career site. And if you have a great, selection of videos, you should place it on all social media channels: Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, anywhere you can, because you don't know where that candidate's going to be. So you want to be where they are.
No, that makes sense. I mean, we have to. Well, in our next clip, I talk with Amit. We have to meet candidates where they are, and they're on social media. And we've seen a bit of an evolution over the past few years, where career sites are now adding the ability to upload their resume or background through a LinkedIn profile or sign in through Facebook.
Yeah.
If you're offering those options natively on your site, it would make sense to host them everywhere else. And you talked about people watching more video than listening or reading job posts. Like, it's a great way to get your information out there. Even podcasts are huge. Everyone and their cousin has a podcast right now. But people are they're simulcasting it, right? They're putting it on YouTube. They're putting those clips onto other aspects. And that's, consumer branding. But when we think about recruiting and recruitment marketing, oftentimes it is so synonymous with what people are selling. You're selling a job, recruiters, at the end of the day, right? You are pitching your company to a candidate. And we know this because the labor market is so tight.
Candidates are really customers.
Yes.
That's the key.
100%.
And that's really going to drive the best outcome for your videos if you look at it from that perspective.
Mm-hmm. I mean, picture this. It is Thursday afternoon, and you need to hop on to Amazon to buy a must-have in your house. What's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to look at the reviews. Those same strategies are being applied to organizations.
Absolutely.
Before candidates apply, they're going to look to see a day in the life. They're going to look to see what your reviews are. And I'm going to let you in on a secret. A lot of companies don't put their reviews on their career site. They're on Glassdoor, right? And that's a candidate leaving your experience to then do more research. So you have to have it everywhere at this point. Amit is our next guest that we are going to showcase the clip. I had the pleasure of chatting with him at HR Tech. So it was live from the conference floor. And this clip proves it, right? It is loud. Mike's cut out every here and there. But I had a great conversation. If you weren't able to catch this episode, definitely check it out on YouTube. And with that being said, let's air the clip of myself and Amit out at HR Tech.
We're prepping for the next evolution of it, right?
So, yeah, and it's about time, man, right? Like, I see billboards on roads, and I'm like, what? Really? Like, that is such, like, general marketing, right? Mm-hmm. People are still spending a lot of money on billboards on roads.
The billboards on roads scares me a little bit, because you shouldn't be texting and driving, right? What are you're pulling out your phone and taking a picture?
Scanning.
But I think there's something towards just creating a presence, right? And when we talk about social media and things like that, you can apply through Facebook, but you can't necessarily apply on your Instagram, on your TikTok, or anything like that.
It was an awesome conversation out there with Amit, and he mentioned there how billboards is old school. I make the joke of it's not safe to text and drive. Carrie, I went on a run this morning through Philadelphia. I almost got hit by 2 cars. People are blowing through stop signs. We need less billboards and people on their phones if that's what they're doing. But we talk a little bit there about social media. So I want to ask you the question today. It is July. It is October 6th. I wish it was still July. It is October 6th, 2022. Is it safe to say that social media is a must-have for all talent acquisition teams now?
I mean, do we really have to say it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Leveraging social media for recruiting is a great way to convey your company culture, make connections with active and passive candidates. So you kind of get like the best of both worlds.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think back to other positions that I had where I may not have been the happiest in my role. And what do we all do to try and escape reality when we're unhappy? We pull out our phone, we hop on Instagram, we hop on Twitter, we see what else is going on in the world. Candidates are doing that at their current jobs, right? They're hopping on, they're looking to be entertained. It doesn't mean that they're going to apply from that particular job posting, but if a video you produce of a day in the life catches their attention, it garners a little bit of interest. Um, why not take advantage? It's free. It is free to create an account. I know
Yeah.
that because there are 1,000 burner accounts out on Twitter right now, right? There are meme accounts, which we don't even know who's behind them. Create that account. If you show up into somebody's timeline because the algorithm was in your favor that day, it can't hurt, right? And I think that's the way that we have
I
to look
think,
at
yeah,
it. But
I think you need to be everywhere today. You
mhm,
can't just look at it one channel. It's got to be all the social channels.
yeah.
I think it's really important to your employer brand.
Speaking of being everywhere, Amit mentioned, the billboards, which is a far more, I think, consumer approach than talent acquisition typically should have. It may work for some organizations, it may not work for others. But I want to ask you, since recruitment marketing it's marketing for candidates, right? You mentioned before we are selling to candidates at the end of the day. Are there any recruitment marketing campaigns where a talent acquisition professional could potentially piggyback on something that the overall marketing is doing, whether it be, general mail or, some of this social media stuff that we're talking about? Have you heard of any of those stories or anything along those lines?
Yeah, I mean, good good recruitment and marketing strategies involve many things, but I think the key is personalization, and we keep talking about that. Personalizing your content across all channels. I mean, you could send out an email drip campaign, then follow up with a targeted SMS campaign, or you can piggyback on an email marketing campaign that's showing off how your company achieved something of interest to a specific pool of candidates, and then follow up on social media with some targeted advertising. So there's many ways you can do this.
Yeah, I mean, I think of the days when the careers page used to be buried at the bottom of a
Yeah.
website, all the way in the footer. That's where somebody would have to go. Now it's at the top, right? You can find careers. Sometimes it jumps you to a different page, whatever it may be. But that's piggybacking on marketing, right? I know one of our customers works in the retail space. They are very big on their credit card that they offer and their coupons that they offer. What's their approach? Whenever they send out those credit cards or those coupons, right on smack dab on the front of the envelope is a QR code or the URL as to where to find a job there. And I think that's a great campaign. It's a low lift for the talent acquisition team. And again, just being everywhere all at once is the best. I want to hop over to some of the comments because I see Tom shared a few thoughts here. The one is featuring video that comes from an actual hiring managers is one of the most authentic and engaging things I've seen pop up over the past year. You could feel the energy from a potential leader or manager, and it makes a difference. And I think that's so true because when we look at these large organizations, right? And they are interviews with the C-suite and they're interviews with folks that you may not interact with on a daily basis, right? Even some startups, they say, oh, you can, rub elbows with the CEO on a daily basis. That CEO is probably flying to and from meetings all the time. They're traveling, they're all over the place. Who are you going to spend your most time with? Hiring managers, right? The person whose team you're working for. And Tom also says that he's behind the meme accounts. So now we know that is Tom's burner. But I think there's a lot to unpack and a lot of different strategies. But at the end of the day, when Jordan and Amit talk about these things, you need to be on social media and you need to be on a video, right? And it doesn't have to be high quality. It doesn't have to be. We all have phones. In the episode with Jordan, he pulled out his phone. He says he has an iPhone. It shoots in 4K, right?
Yeah.
We are in the age of not everyone has flip phones. We can get high quality video and put it together pretty snappy, and it's going to be genuine. We know it's genuine that way, especially if it's from a hiring manager. But Moving right along, last week we had Ali and Kristen from ChenMed come on, and they spoke a lot about talent communities and personalization. And I think it's the next segue into this conversation, which is great. You're creating this exposure to the positions that you're hiring for. But what happens when they land on your career site and they don't find that role that they're looking for, but they saw it 2-3 days ago, they saw it posted on social media? What do you do with them then? So with that being said, let's air the first clip. I believe it's Kristen, Justin, that we will air for the first clip from ChenMed.
Focusing on chemistry, like Kristen said, and developing pieces where it's our talent brand telling the story about why to join us. So that comes with writing stories for like a careers blog, highlighting the awards that ChenMed employees are winning. It's like, yes, our company wins the award, but really it's the employees sharing their feedback that makes this a great place to work. And then just leading with that employer brand story, and then disclosing the details around the jobs that we're hiring for, and also offering the opportunity to join our talent community and sign up for alerts. Because if someone doesn't see their immediate fit, we're there to stay engaged with them and kind of keep that lead warm and attract that talent, and hopefully find a fit for them in the future.
Justin was on vacation last week. He was hiking out in the desert. He may be a little bit dehydrated. That was the clip from Ali. Justin, let's air the other clip. We'll air them both and then we'll unpack them together. Carrie, does that sound like a plan?
Sounds good.
I think as talent acquisition professionals, we're all very mindful of our budgets. We're pretty typically seen as an expense line. And I see in this organization and in others, recruiters will go in and we buy the same candidates over and over again. So for instance, we have centers in New Orleans. If I go out and I'm hiring for, a medical assistant, I'm going to be hiring for that medical assistant today, next year, the year after that. People may not be quite ready. They may be over ready. They may be ready for supervisor. And so really working that idea of being smart and understanding who our talent is and purchasing them once. So it kind of started from a financial, let's be smarter about how we spend our money, where we're spending our money, and quit buying the same candidates over and over again. Also, and I know we're going to talk about personalization, and Allie's done a phenomenal job on personalization. But tracking people year over year and being able to say, Devin, I talked to you, or my peer, Matt, talked to you 18 months ago about a role, and I know it wasn't a great time for you, but what about now? Those are the personalizations that candidates are looking for today. That's the personalization we offer our patients. And one of the things that we say in our recruiting model is that we offer our candidates the experience we want our patients to have. So it's a VIP patient experience. And so some of those things are the reasons that really prompted us to get into it. And then leveraging the technology and phenom around personalization has helped us do it at scale.
That was Kristen and Ali talking about talent communities. If you haven't seen it yet, we do have a case study that is live on our website right now. So definitely download that if you want to hear about how they are effectively using talent communities and how they are continuing to grow at a rapid pace. I know during that episode, they shared, I think it was 2 years ago, they had 2,000 employees. Now they have 6,000 and their goal is to get to 10,000. So if you're on a similar hiring trajectory, definitely check that out. But one thing, Carrie, that I want to talk about here is obviously there's a lot of uncertainty economically. You turn on the news, people are talking about a recession. We hear horror stories of folks getting laid off, so on and so forth. Talent communities are working super effectively for ChenMed because, as Kristen mentioned there, they may be hiring for a position this week, next week, and the following week, right? But if you're one of those organizations who may be in a little bit of uncertainty or on a hiring freeze or something along those lines, it sounds like talent communities could be effective for you. It's almost like that add to cart thing in your Amazon where you're like, maybe I'll buy it later. I don't know. So I want to ask you, Do you think no matter what situation your organization is in, whether it be a rapid growth like ChenMed or maybe suffering from some of that uncertainty, you should be leveraging talent communities? You should be reaching out to your potential candidates for when things get better.
Oh, absolutely. Talent communities are key for, I think, all organizations, no matter the size. They'll help your brand stay top of mind through all of this uncertainty and keep those passive candidates engaged for the long run. So when they're ready to make their next career move, you're going to be the brand that they think of first. And that's where they're going to start their journey when they're ready. Um, if it's an active candidate, it's keeping them engaged. It's letting them know, hey, we're still here. If you not found the right job, okay, come back again. You want to work here because you're obviously being engaged by that content and that community that's built. There's a lot of positive things about talent communities that I think organizations are missing.
No, I couldn't have said it better myself. I always think I love sneakers, Carrie. I am on Nike trying to buy sneakers. They sell out in an instant. And when they sell out, I'm a little bit bummed, right? I picture myself as a candidate, looking for a position and it's no longer an open role. However, Nike has zero issue sending me push notifications for when the next shoe is going to release and when maybe I could win the raffle there. Obviously, a little bit of a different scenario, but again, it's taking that consumer approach and applying it to your candidates. Now, the next piece around that is going to be, as Jordan mentioned, it's serving up the right content to the right folks. He used the example of a legal professional being served up videos from the IT team and how that may kind of turn them off a little bit. So I want to ask you this, Carrie: how should organizations filter? Should it be, in your opinion, location based? Should it be potentially role based and department based? And then last question is this something that AI can do on its own to hopefully help people save time? Once you've created those buckets, whatever it may be best for you, can people who join the talent community automatically get filtered into them?
Well, I think you have to use filters, and that's part of personalization and targeting. Filtering using Phenom's AI technology can really get your company the best fit candidate at the right time. So you're filling those roles faster, reducing the cost per hire, which is what everyone's looking to do right now, especially during these times. Filtering is super important to when you're segmenting and sending out any type of campaign, whether it's SMS, email. You want to make sure you're reaching the right pool of candidates, and filtering is all a part of that. And then what was your second question? I totally just forgot.
Will AI be able to do that for you? Like, can it, if a new person is added to your talent community and you see that they're a Penn State grad, can you filter that so that they automatically go into some of those campaigns you mentioned?
Yes, absolutely. AI is a part of that. And like I mentioned before, Phenom's AI technology, that's what it does. It gets you, it fits the best candidate the first time. So you're not interviewing or screening the wrong candidates. That's what AI technology does.
Yeah, I mean, interviewing or screening the wrong candidates is not only potentially a waste of time, but it's also a huge sacrifice to your resources. We all know that recruiters and talent acquisition teams they're strapped, right? They are in back-to-back meetings. They have to post new jobs. They have to communicate with some of the hiring managers. Bambi hopped in the comment section, speaking of hiring managers, and says, thumbs up for hiring manager videos. Best way to get the human feel of what's expected in open roles. I couldn't agree more. And one thing that ChenMed continued to talk about in the video was in that episode. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, definitely check it out on our YouTube or on LinkedIn. But she mentioned the importance, and Carrie, you kind of touched on it here, of filtering out candidates, right? ChenMed's a unique organization. They work with the senior community, right? If you have somebody who's looking for a job who doesn't want to work with seniors, that's okay. ChenMed's not going to hold that against you. There may be another position for them, but if you really enjoy, working with children and you want to do that with your life, kind of talks about those societal ideologies that we talked about at the top of the show. It's okay for people to self-select out. You don't want to waste their time. That's going to leave a bad taste in their mouth. And you also don't want to waste your resources time, because time is money, and we only have a little bit of it. So to make the best use of your time, that's great. It sounds like, Carrie, from what you mentioned, AI can do that by filtering in, the right candidates, and then, expanding these campaigns with some of these videos. So hopefully everyone has enjoyed these clips. I want to ask just a couple questions before we hop off, Carrie. After having this conversation with me, obviously having conversations with our product team here, and the good folks who are building Phenom, what do you think are some of the easiest things that companies can do to bring life back to their recruitment marketing campaigns?
You could do a few things that are super easy. Showcase your brand organically on social media. We talked about your website and career page. Optimize your website's career page. Make it a compelling career page with spotlight video that shows what it's like to work there. Try reaching out to new audiences using filters with Phenom CRM campaigns and events. Follow up with a Phenom's SMS campaign. Those are all good ways to refresh and build your pipeline.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Now, I have to ask you, those are things that exist right now, right? That somebody could, have a conversation with Phenom, turn it on. If they're already a Phenom customer, they can begin to use it today. But my question for you is, what are you excited for in the future? What are some of the conversations that you see or are a part of about where recruitment marketing can go?
I think the future of recruitment marketing is a combination of engaging candidates with personalization and the automation that comes with our AI technology. We're starting to utilize that AI technology now, and it's only going to learn faster and faster, because that's what AI technology and machine learning does. Using Phenom's compelling career site with targeted content empowers recruiters with campaigns. You could use talent analytics to ensure your campaigns that are performing well. And all this is used with AI technology that continues to learn. And I think that's the future of recruitment marketing.
Yeah, no, when you mentioned analytics there, I almost broke out into hives again, because I have been diving through our Phenom's social media analytics, and I'm opening up manual spreadsheets and going through them and creating charts and finding I have literally 30,000 tabs open on my screen right now. So hearing the excitement of the future of being able to set a couple filters and parameters, and then immediately
It's a
get the
dashboard.
information
You
that you're
set it
looking
up
for.
and you forget it.
Yes.
It's super easy.
Yes.
That's what you need.
I love set it and forget it. I think there's an oven company that may do something similar to those lines. Set it and
Just
forget it. But
may.
we're bringing it to talent acquisition, and I love that. They probably sold 1 million ovens with set it and forget it. Now, obviously, we talked a bunch about the Phenom here. This is a Phenom program. We have to, but I want to ask you, from your personal opinion, how is Phenom leading the way in recruitment marketing? And don't be afraid to mention some of the things you said before, but I definitely want to clip this up and get it out to the socials and meet folks where they are, as we mentioned.
I think Phenom's leading the way with our AI technology and the interconnectivity of our intelligent talent experience platform. It truly connects people, data, interactions, and provides you the analytics you need for your everyday and the future of your businesses.
That's perfect. Tom chimes in and he says, forgetting your oven is on. Yes, feels dangerous. Tom, it is, but we have smoke detectors. Hopefully it won't set the house on fire. We're not going to set and forget our ovens anymore. Only our dashboards, right? And then we can hop in and see where things are. Carrie, this conversation has been an absolute blast. I hope you enjoyed it half as much as I did. And I can't wait to have you on the program in the future to dive more into recruitment marketing. But before we go, have a great weekend. I really appreciate it.
You too, and have fun in New York. I might see you there.
Thank you. We're doing lunch. We discussed that. Yeah.
We are. But you have to first tell me where to meet you. How about that?
Yes. Yes. All right. Well, we'll see you this weekend.
Bye. Nice to meet everybody.
Bye. That was Carrie, Monaco. Yes, Monaco, not to be confused with the European city where so many James Bond films were set, chatting all around recruitment marketing. As we dove into, the past 3 episodes that we've had with Jordan Shelton, with Amit Parmar, with Kristen Davis, and Ali from ChenMed. If you missed any of those episodes, missed any of the clips today, of course, we always do a blog recap. We have a blog recap of the past few episodes. If blogs aren't really your thing, don't worry. It's on YouTube as well. We're all familiar with YouTube. Maybe that's where you're posting your recruitment marketing videos, your day in the life videos, your hiring manager videos, as Tom mentioned. So lots of great options out there for you. But if you just want to learn more about Phenom, because Carrie did such a wonderful job describing it and talking about our AR technology, you can always head over to phenom.com. Be sure to follow us on our socials to stay up to date on all of our blogs, what events we are going to be attending, any funny videos that we may put together. And we hope to see you soon. I know for the month of November, if you work in the talent marketplace space or the talent management space, you are not going to want to miss any of those episodes. We are talking all around employee experience and how, bringing all of these candidates and all of this talent in, how you can keep it there. The past year, we've talked around, the great resignation and the turnover tsunami and all of these scary terms. How do we keep our candidates and our talent within our organization? We're going to dive into it in the month of November. So definitely tell any of your talent management friends, and we will see you there soon. But in the meantime, I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your 3-day weekend if you have the opportunity. And if you're in New York, don't be afraid to reach out. I'll grab lunch with you as well, as long as it is not Sunday at 1:00, because I will be watching the Jets beat the Miami Dolphins. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thanks.